Wow, I didn't finish my makeup. Forgot about that. Oh, well. Hi, guys. I just said, I didn't finish my makeup. Whatever. I had to eat. Right? No perfection. It's all good. All right, so I'm going to wait for people to come in. I know that the time change may have messed up some people's availability to join. A couple of people reached out to tell me that. Don't worry, it will be recorded. You'll be able to find it. I will send you the link, replay, all that good stuff. If you are joining, though, pop your name in the chat because I don't see you. I only see little eyeballs. Jory says food over makeup. Yeah, and all I got was like, it's like apple still stuck in my teeth and some cheese. So yeah, time difference because I had to go to the DMV, and post-COVID days, I had no idea. So I still own a car and it's registered in New Jersey, and I missed the registration window in the midst of all the COVID stuff when I was stuck in California, even though my parents emailed me everything. I was like, oops, Dad, missed that email. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the DMV in person to go take care of this. And anyways, so my parents are like, are you sure? Like, are you sure you're not leaving like too late? I left the house at like 7:40 a.m. They're like, there's people waiting on lines all over the place, da 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 da. And I'm like, I think you guys are blowing this out of proportion. This is no big deal. I get to the DMV. The line is like the place is tailgating. Like, it is just full. The parking lot is completely full of people. There's like police there. So I have like no idea because it's like on the back of the building. So I walk like through the hallway and I'm like, okay, I'll get on the back of the line thinking like I'll be 10th in line or something. Get outside, see this like huge line, and the guy who's like right behind me, who came with all his passport and everything, he must have been doing something official. He turns to a woman who's sitting in a chair, brought her own chair, like she's tailgating, and asks her when she arrived. Mind you, she's still outside. She's still sitting outside the building. She arrived at 3:30 in the morning. So I was like, oh, hell no. DMV 1, Jackie 0. And I just like get back in my car and I drive home. And my dad's like, you know, it's past the window, but why don't you just try to do it online again? It worked. So did it online, didn't have to go there, but I ended up having Sunday with my parents. I slept over, and then we actually ended up also going for a walk this morning, and then I jumped on the train and came home. So that's the long story. I see a couple of you guys here. Just drop your hi in the chats so I know who's here, and then sometimes I can tailor a little bit of the presentation for you guys. So today we are going to be talking about overwhelm, procrastination, lack of focus. It's all the same thing, right? And so we're going to get into a little bit of that. I'm going to give you guys some tools. We're going to do some tapping. It is going to get fun and juicy. Okay, so I am a visual learner. I don't know about you guys. Hi, Ellen. And hi, Koki. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And Lauren's here. Awesome. All right, we got people from all over. Yay. All right, so I'm a visual learner. So I'm going to break this down visually because sometimes I feel like when we're in this stuck, overwhelm, procrastination, it's like all in our head. We're just like kind of, you know, on a hamster wheel. We're not moving anywhere. And we can feel, hey, Alyssa, happy Monday. Hi, Terry Ann. We could just feel like all the feels, right? All of like the distraction and stuff. And like sometimes I think when we break things down and we intellectually understand them, that is the first step of getting relief. So intellectual understanding has to happen, right? Consciousness has to happen. Awareness has to happen in order for change to happen. It is not the thing that creates change. It is the first step to it, right? And so that's a lot of times why you'll hear me be like, put the self-help book down, right? Half the clients that come to me, they've read half the section in the store, but they're not feeling any differently because they're not doing the implementation work. So there's a difference, but we have to start with the education piece. So I am going to use a little blank notebook, and I've got some of my fun colored Sharpies, and I am going to draw this out a little bit. And before I even jump in, I am assuming that whoever's here, this resonates for you. And, oh shoot, hold on one second, I want to grab my mouse. And I'm stuck to the drawer. So when you came into the Facebook group, I feel so old, like I use a mouse and, all right. So when you came into the Facebook group, I asked you the question of what's the #1 challenge that is happening for you right now. So let me read some of these out loud to you so that you guys can see who, if you're here now or you're watching the replay, and if you watch the replay, hit the word replay for me. I don't see you guys right now. I'm reading off of this just to let you know. All right, so here are some of the things out of the almost 200 members that are in here, and I will not say anybody's name. So struggling with consistency keeps me from only getting to a certain point but not having maximum impact. Struggling with implementation. Reluctant to fully launch my business could be fear. Hanging on to old stuff and it's not longer serving me. Motivation. Juggling too many things, so they're overwhelmed. Too many ideas. Feeling stuck in business, not going above a certain level of income. Not making consistent money, so lots of inconsistency. Okay, let's see what else. There's so many of them here. Overthinking my problems. Preventing myself from growing. Focusing and wanting to do everything at once. So that's the overwhelm again. Lack of direction is like sort of that procrastination. Sometimes I focus on way too many things at once and have a hard time narrowing down. I'm overworked. Getting into action, which is the procrastination. If you guys are hearing this and this is resonating for you, tell me in the chats, like, what's your thing that's like kind of holding you back as it relates to this. Here's another one. That's consistency in marketing. This one, let's see. Consistency in feeling confident enough to show up fully and take bold actions. Procrastinating, like the leap and starting the business I envisioned, currently not showing up the way that I know that I can. So I don't have to keep reading these because I'm only like halfway through, and I'm assuming that, you know, you felt some of yourself in some of those comments. That's why we're here. That's why this group exists. You know, when we believe in the inner work, when we believe in the mindset work and doing the healing, doing the activation, doing the manifestation work, but not at the like woo-woo level, but at the real deep inner movement. So I am going to draw a few things. So I got this blank piece of paper, and I'm going to start in the middle with the things that we feel are identifiable, right? So that is like the labels that we can give to our behaviors and our feelings. So feelings, people will tell me they feel like they're stuck. They feel like they are lost. They feel like they are, that they can't trust themselves. They feel confused, lacking direction, right? So I'm just kind of writing some of these down. So feelings in the middle, and then behaviors. And if you guys want me to add any of yours that pertain to this, just drop them in the chat. So behaviors, we see a lot of procrastination, right? That we'll do everything else that feels easy as opposed to the thing that's actually going to move us forward. So sometimes the easy thing is cleaning the house, calling a friend, going to yoga instead, those types of things. Sometimes the easy stuff is just sitting all day in our inbox, writing emails to people that, you know, it's not scary to write an email to them, right? Sometimes like the difference between writing an email to a really warm prospect, we like won't do that because there's some sort of belief behind it. And we'll, you know, start working on like a cold campaign, things like that, that we like do that sort of sabotage ourselves. And the overwhelm. So overwhelm to me is like another behavior where people are just like trying to do everything at once. They're like, I will, launch this program. I will have that. I will get on a podcast. I will write these 10 blogs. I will get featured in New York Times, like all of it. They want to do every single thing at once. And it's just like all over the place. It's just like spraying. There's no like real strategy of anything. And another behavior I see is like this indecision. So they're like, I have a lot of ideas, but I don't know how to move forward. So you can see it's a little bit like procrastination. It's like, I don't know which one. And all of this stuff, so I just like wrote them all in the middle. All of this stuff has the same thing in common, which is some sort of fear that is keeping you from your desire. So this is like when you find yourself in this place, you are here in the middle. And I always see life as like moving forward, right? I'm like, see life as like we're moving along on a path. So I think that like when you're feeling these feelings and behaviors, oops, like a mirror, you are stuck in the middle between your fear and your desire. And you're battling it out internally between these two things, which is why you are exhibiting like all of these behaviors and all of these feelings. And what's happening in the middle is your body's own natural way of trying to like protect yourself, right? Either it's like protecting you from some sort of fear, or you probably have feelings and beliefs about your desires. And so I want to tell you guys, when I like literally gave myself the challenge, because I love teaching, and I was just like, I'm going to teach every single Monday in the month of August. And I just like declared it, and then I was like, oh, and there's 5 weeks too. So I gave myself a bonus round. You guys get a bonus training next week. And so I knew what I wanted to teach on the first 3 weeks. And then I was like, what else am I going to teach on? And I was just like, you know what? I just trust. I trust that the right thing is going to present itself, and I'm going to figure it out along the way. And this last week, I ended up getting a couple of emails between Friday and Saturday from existing clients that were giving me, like, I don't ask for these, but they were just giving me feedback on how things are going with their program, with working with me. Of course, I care about how things are going, but they just wanted to reach out and tell me some things. So all awesome and positive breakthroughs. And so the first thing I want to talk about is this fear, right? And so the email that I got from one of my clients who I've been working with for, I think we've done 5 sessions, is how the fear has now lifted off, like because we've been working on some of the things that she witnessed in her life, some of the things that came down from her parents, what happened in her father's career, all of these types of like trauma things. And sometimes like we call them traumas, but they're not capital T traumas, they're lowercase t traumas, but they end up creating fears within us. They create like belief systems that are based on fear and scarcity. And as we've been lifting them off, she sent me her marketing document that I reviewed. I do that for VIP clients. And I went through it and I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, because you have figured out, like, the person she described that she wants to work with, I could feel who that was. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so accurate. This is so great. And this was someone who's brand new to coaching, right? So she didn't know like who she wanted to work with. She had a kind of like an inclination. She had a desire, but she had all these fears present. And as we've been tapping down the fears, she is letting the desire come up. And she said in the email, like, I feel like I've let go of a lot of fear and I can see the path forward right now. So a lot of getting out of this place in the middle is working on our fears. And the other side of it is being really clear and intentional and getting in touch with ourselves with our desires. So a lot of times clients will come to me and they'll be like, I don't know what I want. And I will lovingly say, bullshit, because I think you really know, but you're telling yourself a story about why you can't do something. You're telling yourself like, somebody won't buy this, there's not enough of these people, this won't resonate with people, no one will invest in this. Tell me if that's ringing true for anyone in the chats. That you're sort of feel like you want to like, there's something you really want to do, but you're like selling yourself short. Because this is exactly what happened with me. Like I really wanted to take somebody on a 6-month journey. That's the real time that it takes for the internal transformation for the VIP level clients that come in the door that need sort of that deeper healing, And people are at different points in their journey, but that's for that person. And I wanted to work really closely with them for 6 months. I wanted to not just do the mindset and the like tapping, but I also wanted to make sure I was doing the manifestation work. I was like, yes, this is so important for people to understand how the quantum law works, how the feminine embodiment works with the quantum law, because you're really relaxing. And then the business strategy, right? Because I, as my like accountability partner told me after this weekend, she reprimanded me because we were on a little bit of a training this weekend, and she was like, how dare you introduce yourself to the head coach as an EFT practitioner? You are so much more than that. So yes, I'm gonna own it. I'm a fucking business powerhouse, and my mind works in that way, and I can just see through all the smoke and mirrors and like know how you're supposed to show up in your business. And of course, I don't force people to do things, but I provide the frameworks and allow people to adopt them in a way that really helps them shine. It's like the thing, instead of like being like, I'm not doing the template the right way, and then you just have more like weird energy within you. It's more like, fuck yeah, I'm standing on top of this template and it feels good and it feels like the best of me shining through. So yes, I'm going to own all of it. And that's what I wanted to put out into the world. And I wanted to stop selling myself short with these $1,200 and $2,000 programs. And now, you know, that VIP level is every single person that's paid in full, and it's sold out. I have a wait list at this point. So, and that happened just in a matter of months, right? And so that's where I talk about, like, when a lot of coaches talk about alignment, that's what they're saying. They're saying, like, you've got this desire and you've got to step into it. You've got to trust that it's enough. So Dory says, yeah, 100% her. Yeah, I'd love to hear in what ways, if you want to expand upon that. So here's the thing. So how do we like work with this stuff, and what do we actually focus on? Do we focus on I'm stuck, like I'm procrastinating, I'm automatically going to tapping, right? So we'll talk about that in just a second. So I want to talk for a little bit about what is under this, though. And so what's really happening is, what is driving all the fear? What is driving the desire? What is driving the feelings and the behaviors in the middle, the procrastination? And it goes back to the same thing I talk about all the time. It's what you think and what you believe, right? So it pretty much sums up what mindset is, right? So it's what you feel about yourself, what you feel is possible, what you think is possible in the world. And these things under here, sometimes your thoughts are not actually conscious. Like you're not aware of them. They are just playing out in the background. And the ego is coming up, right? So a lot of times, like, people talk about the ego. The ego is like very big on fear, keeping you safe, right? Wants to keep you in your place, wants to keep you in stuff that's familiar. And where does the ego actually live? In my opinion, I believe that a lot of the ego actually lives in the body, and it lives in the subconscious, because I think that the subconscious also sort of lives in the body. It's an unconscious place that is a part of your nervous system, that is a part of your muscle memory, that is a part of your energetic field. The things that you've been through, the things that have not worked out, have worked out, the things you've witnessed working out or not working out, all of that stuff is imprinted in you. And even on a subconscious ego level, they're playing out in this fear of, or an opinion about your desire, a fear-based opinion about your desire. And so that's why it's so frustrating to be in that middle place where you're like, I'm procrastinating, I don't understand, I want a bigger business, I want to put myself out there in a bigger way, I want to, like for Dory, I want to put out a bigger thing and something that really feels like this is what I truly desire and all the pieces of it. I know that's happening for Terry Ann too, because you know, she teaches by season, and we've talked about it doesn't work when you bring somebody into a later season that hasn't gone through the whole program. Maybe we need to revamp this and do a whole year, right? Let's step up and get people that really want to commit to a full year's worth of work with you. But then what happens? The fear kicks in. You're like, oh, no one's going to buy that. It's going to be too expensive. No one's going to commit for a whole year. Nobody's like, you know, can see that far out. So things like that end up happening. It's the same thing for Helen, right? Helen's got amazing skills for design skills, plus she's got coaching, plus she's a digital nomad. Let's put that all together. You know, somebody who wants to get out of their desk job, will need a website, right? That's an amazing offer that you can give them. Same thing, I talked to Alyssa the other day about some of this stuff, right? She's also can do all the tech genius, the shit that like gives me the creeps. And I would love to work with somebody like Alyssa who is a healer and can help with mindset and can help with subconscious fears and stuff like that. And then can go in and like, yes, I was talking about you, Tyrion. And then can go in and like actually implement some stuff to help somebody get out of that hustle mode, right? Isn't that amazing? We all have so many gifts, the exact thing that we've been through in our life, the paths that we've walked, the experiences, the jobs that we've hated and left, everything starts to come together. And if you trust that and you bring that out into the world, trust me, there are people waiting for it, but it's about your belief in it. It's about whether you're willing to work on some of the fears so that that natural desire can bubble up. So here's the thing, right? So I kind of drew this line. So we've got subconscious beliefs down here, the ego, the body, the trauma in the body, all of that stuff is below the line. And then we've got the stuff that we can observe going above the line. So I'm really blessed that, awesome. Let me see, I'm gonna read Dory's comment for 1 second. So I definitely have a desire to start a business and create impact for other teachers, and I had a vision for it months ago, created an IG, posted for a while, and I have so many ideas brainstormed and plans written down. In the last 3 to 4 weeks, I've been totally lost steam, barely implementing anything. It makes me feel very stuck, and I'm feeling like an imposter in that space. Totally. I just want to tell you that I really feel that energetically and empathically for you, that you feel, stuck in that kind of imposter thing. And so, sometimes, when we write all these things down, if they're like divine inspiration, trust them. Keep putting them out there. Don't plan too much. Don't attach too much to the outcome. And sometimes it's some of those like little strategy tweaks that just help the audience know that you're speaking to them, that you have a product for them. Sometimes I find that when we're like fresh on the scene with an idea, we want to be like really inspirational. We want people to trust us. We want people to like us. And so we get into this mode where we're not like explicitly selling and we're not explicitly like standing in our professionalism and our expertise. And then you kind of do feel like a little bit like an imposter and you're kind of attaching yourself to some of the reactions. So it for you, it might be about like pulling back the energy towards yourself. And so we'll do a little bit of that today. I think it will help you move forward a bit. So let me talk about this for a second. So I'm very lucky that I somehow fell after, I think I've told you guys the story, after I went traveling and I came home and everything fell apart. This is like 6-7 years ago now. A friend said, why don't you go see this woman? And I'm really lucky that she introduced tapping to me. And not only did she introduce tapping to me, she was a licensed clinical social worker. So she was actually working on getting her certification in tapping, right? So not everyone gets certified in tapping. There are obviously different certification programs. There's like the weekend version of anything out there, right? You can get the coaching certification for, the 2-hour course. And so when I found out that she was also working on getting her certification, she introduced me to my mentor, who's my now mentor, and her name is Jondi Wittes. And I trained with her once, twice, years apart. She is a master level trainer. She's on the board of EFTI, which is EFT International, which is who I'm certified through. It's a very comprehensive program. It's almost 40 hours a year that I have to do studying and keeping up with a mentor with to keep my license or my certification. And so I was having a call with her, a mentor call on Friday, and she literally made this up on the spot, and I'm totally giving her credit, and I think it's amazing. And it's called, the acronym just ended up falling into SOS, right? So it's kind of silly, it's kind of cute and silly because tapping is literally like, when you're like sending out an SOS, I was like literally singing, I was like, sending out an SOS. So SOS stands for soothing or solving. And that's how she sees tapping. Those are the things that tapping can do. It can either soothe you or it can solve your problem or your issue, your challenge. And so here's the thing, right? Here's our diagram. And I've got the S or, right, SOS or S, right? So I've got the S above the line. So all these like behaviors, the fears, the the feelings about them, we can do soothing tapping on this, right? And that will help this stuff go down. It will help you get into action mode. It will help some of the fear dissipate. And to some degree, it could perhaps also solve the problem, because maybe you could become aware of a fear that you didn't know, and you can be like, oh, now that I have a conscious awareness of that, that's actually something silly, I can talk myself out of that. And that's actually something that happened to me when I just launched my business, and I was going from corporate to part-time with it, and I took 2 weeks off to work, and I didn't understand why was I procrastinating all day long. It's like I took this time, I finally got 2 weeks off, like I'm gonna work on my business, and all I wanted to do was other things. And so when I started tapping on just the basics of like, I'm feeling so like I'm procrastinating, I don't know why I'm procrastinating, and all this procrastination, after a few minutes, the truth came up, which was a fear of being burnt out. So I was very burnt out from my old corporate job. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I move forward in my business, I will just be burnt out again, but it'll just look different. And so that was the fear that came up. And once I had the awareness of that, I was like, oh, okay, I can, mitigate that. I can put structures in place and processes in place and things like that to help me. And so in that instance, I was able to somewhat solve my problem. But for the most part, what I see is that, so this is this, I'll write something here. So this is the soothing above the line. And then below the line is the solving, right? So we actually really have more of a chance of solving what's happening up here when we can work at the root, when we can work at the deeper belief systems, the incidences that happened that created that belief system. So yes, I got awareness that I was burnt out from my corporate job, but at the deeper root level, I probably needed to do some more tapping on why did I get burnt out, right? What were my behaviors? Did I not have the right boundaries in place? Was I saying yes to too many things? Was I having low self-worth that I was like, oh yeah, I'll do anything and everything for everyone? All of the little carrots that were dangled in front of me, was I just jumping for them? So if I didn't work at the root level with some of those behavioral things and solve at a deeper level, all those same behaviors would end up coming into my business, and it would look exactly the same, right? So we have to go to that deeper level and do the solving. So tell me if this is resonating for you in the chat box, and then Dory says thank you. Okay, great. I'm glad that helped a little. And Alyssa's saying yes, mindset and helping implement with marketing. Yes, awesome. I love that idea together. All right, so let me know, guys, is this resonating for you about the difference between tapping for soothing and tapping for solving? Because basically I'm going to give you the truth that everything out there, including what's on my own IGTV and on my YouTube channel and all that, is for the most part is going to be a soothing tapping. And I'm not trying to take anything away from this. It's valuable, it's helpful. Little by little, it does change things for you. The other day, last Monday, I brought all my VIPs together and we did a group tapping, right? So we were tapping on stuff like end of the summer blues and just the state of our world and any sort of guilt and shame about moving forward and getting more abundance and things like that, while other people are, having hard times right now. So we did this group level tapping, and yeah, it was so, all week long when I had my single sessions with them, they were like, oh my God, Monday night was amazing. It was so great to see people that were feeling just like me. It was so great to see each other. There's that extra bonus of being in a group, right? And they got a lot out of that. They were like, oh, I feel so good. Yes, I'm focused and stuff like that. So yes, you can go tap with Brad, and you can go tap with Gala, and you can go tap with my stuff. But for the most part, it's a soothing. And if you want real transformation, we've got to go that layer deeper and do the solving, right? Because then we're just going to end up, it's like you're going to end up in the same place. It's just going to have a different label. Okay, awesome. So it's resonating with you guys. Dory's saying, I've only ever thought about tapping for soothing. It's very interesting. Yeah, definitely. I think that's actually a common misconception, that people think that tapping is this surfacey level thing. I mean, You guys know that when I started, my friends were like, oh, I'm just gonna touch my face and I'm gonna feel better. And so, yeah, I think like once I really got rid of the idea that like I don't have to prove shit to anybody, I don't have to go be the spokesperson for tapping worldwide and convince everybody of it. I know there's plenty of people out there that already know it, respect it, had a great movement with it, they want deeper healing with it, and those are my people. And those are the people that are going to come in. So I think I was in a campaign where I was trying to prove that for a long time to people. But yeah, for the most part, I will prove it a little bit right now. I will get into a little bit of that. But yeah, even in the book, The Body Keeps the Score, which is, I'm not going to try to say his name, but Bessel van der Kolk or whatever, they use tapping at the VA for PTSD. They use tapping for anxiety. They use tapping for depression. And when you compare those to traditional courses of treatment for PTSD, there's a super high, what is that called? Relapse, a lack of relapse, right? So people like do a couple sessions and really can get into the trauma of the events, and they stop having flashbacks. They stop having dreams about these things. So really concrete differences. A lot of my clients, they start to sleep better. They start to feel different in their body. The anxiety comes down. They start to be able to like observe their thoughts. So they get a lot of distance between like, wait, that's just stuff that isn't true. So it's really deep. It is deeper healing, and the information like that we have on anxiety is like compared to CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. We're talking 3 times faster. So a course of like 6 weeks versus like 18 weeks with CBT to start seeing differences. So we know physiologically a lot of stuff's happening, and it really is impactful for the deeper healing. So that is something that's really important to me, that I think that no matter how great of a program or my growth or my business or whatever's happening, there is a place within me that always wants to offer that deeper level healing. And so the multiplier that's in the middle of launching right now, and we're going to kick off on October 8th. Applications are due by September 8th, Tuesday after Labor Day. Applications are due by the 3rd of September. I am still providing for everybody in there the deeper level solving with the personalized EFT. So I'm working with another amazing practitioner who is a life coach. She's very big into imposter syndrome and helping women step forward into that desire, owning that desire and living from that place of desire. And so she's going to be doing the personalized EFT together. We're all going to come together and we're going to set out your plan so that we are zeroed in. My super analytical brain is going to zero in on like what are your big blocks, and make sure that we're working on the exact root things, the things in the subconscious and the ego that are preventing you from moving forward, from having consistency, from being focused, from picking and living and operating a business that's an extension of you, that's an extension of your desires, and not a representation of your fears. So if that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, I would love you guys to think about applying. And for now, what I want to do is a real quick soothing tapping together. So wherever you are, make sure you're drinking water. And you're hydrated. I'm not, because we went for a walk and then I went on the train and I came home to like, when you step out, you don't put the AC on, because I was away for a day or two. Whew, so it's still a little warm in here. All right, so I want everybody for a moment to just sit in your chair or wherever you are, if you're on the ground, if you're on the beach, who knows. Helen might be on the beach. And I want you to just close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to take a nice deep belly breath in, bringing it up to the chest, and exhaling through the mouth. And with your eyes closed, I just want you to get in touch with this procrastination, this overwhelm, the feeling of being stuck, whatever emotions come up with that for you, whether that's being frustrated or that feeling of hopelessness where you're like, I'm here again, or how am I going to get out of this place? the confusion. And so I just want you to get in touch with that. And if you notice anything happening in your body, just take note of that, whether your stomach feels like it's kind of done a little bit of a loop or your chest feels heavy in some sort of way. And I just want your body right now to just experience this place. This place that sort of pops up and keeps you in this fear and this scarcity and keeps you from moving forward into your desires and operating from your desires. So then let's open up your eyes, and I just want you guys to take a quick SUD, which is this units of distress. So it's scale of 1 to 10, 10 being this is very, very painful, this hurts, like I do not like feeling this way. 0 being like, no big deal, I don't even think about it. So somewhere on that scale, just kind of place yourself where you are right now. And we'll check back to that in a little bit later. All right, so let's start tapping. We're going to start on the side of the hands, and you guys are going to repeat after me. So I'll leave a little bit of a pause for you to say the words out loud. And if you're somewhere that you can't speak out loud, just kind of mouth them or say them in your head. Or you're already tapping, so if you're somewhere public, you could just be like me, where I just tap wherever the frick I am, so nobody cares. I also live in New York, though, so. All right. Whew. Even though I feel like I'm stuck, and I feel a little bit lost, it feels like I don't know what I want to do next. And I can't trust myself or believe in myself. I just want to acknowledge these thoughts. And I want to forgive myself for any judgments I may have as to why I think I'm here. Even though I feel like I'm overwhelmed, there's so much I want to do. I'm not sure what to do next. I'm trying to do everything. My energy is everywhere else. And even though I'm here right now, I'd like to pull it back to me. To feel my full power again. And be free of all of these distractions. Even though I feel like I am in the middle of chaotic thoughts, I don't know what's mine, what's somebody else's opinion, what's my old fears that I learned from somebody else. All of this is leading to indecision. And I don't know what to do next. And I don't know how to move forward. And I want to acknowledge where I am right now. All of the feelings, the sensations in my body that come up with this place. And I want to be open to releasing some of this energy, some of these beliefs, some of these fears, so that I can easily see the path forward and step forward with grace. Okay, so we're going to be at the top of the head now. I'm feeling stuck. I'm stuck in this place. I hate being in this place. There's so much I want to do. There's so many people I want to help. I've got big dreams for myself. I want to have a big impact in the world. And I want to feel that impact in my life. So this is not acceptable. It really sucks being in this place. Feeling indecisive. Feeling like I can't trust myself. It's like parts of myself are at battle with each other. There's that knowing part of myself that wants to move forward, that wants to move towards my desires, that trusts me, that trusts the power around me. And yet that other part of myself, the one that's in fear and lack and scarcity, is trying to tell me I can't do it. It's not safe. It won't be good for me. You'll get hurt. I'm not sure if you should try. Just stay over here. There's a lot more that's known over here. And that I can deal with. It's too scary out there. Moving forward. Maybe even voices of, who do you think you are? Can't make money like that. Where would you get some clients? People don't want that. Look, nobody even liked your last post. You don't know what you're doing. So even if you want all of that, I think it's way too scary. So I don't want to let you move forward. I'll disguise it as procrastination. I'll disguise it as overwhelm. That one works really well. Trick you into working all the time. I'm trying to protect you. Well, right now I want to tell that protection part of me that I don't need it. I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to make this easier on myself. I'm ready to trust myself. I can at least try. And I can trust myself to try again. And I can trust myself to learn. To get feedback without making it personal. I can lean into what I really want to do. I could let that desire lead me forward. I want to choose in this moment. I want to decide that I'm over the fears. That I'm going to make this happen. And nothing can stop me. Especially me. So I'm going to feel excited. I'm going to feel like I have a direction. I'm choosing to step forward. I only need to see 200 feet in front of me. And I can drive anywhere. So I'm ready to get into the car. And I'm ready to bring myself to the destination of my desire. So take a deep breath there. And then I want you guys to check in with your number, with your body, and see how much soothing you were able to receive from that quick, I don't know what we did, 10 minutes, not even, tapping. Let me know in the chat. And I do want to give Jack Canfield, I always like to credit anybody that helps inspire me or quotes or anything like that. And so he said in The Secret, you only need, if you're in the car, you only need to see the 200 feet in front of you from your headlights, and that you will make it from California to New York. So that is where that little piece of that tapping came through, where we don't need to know absolutely everything, but we do need to know the first few steps and be willing to take those. So let me know, guys, in the chat how that went for you, if you're still processing. Did anything come up or anything shift or some awareness come up? Let me know. I know there's a bunch of you guys still here. I know there's like a delay in this chat thing. So, yeah, I want to know how this was soothing for you. Lauren, amazing results. I felt at a 10 to start with, and now I feel down to a 4-ish. That is an amazing shift. Oh, Terrian's crying. Ah, all right. We might need to check in a little bit later. Courtney had a good movement. Good. Yeah, so you see how powerful it is just for the soothing. But yeah, then when it really like starts to do the solving, what's really happening with the solving is the creating of the new neural pathways. So you start to really think differently. You start to embody differently. And the old imprinted memories that are in your body get released, and the stuck energy gets released. So some of it sometimes comes through in tears or yawns or things like that. So yeah, let this come out. So awesome. So Terrian is tired of being in this place again. So, well, that's what we're going to fix. So Terrian was the first person who came into the multiplier. So I'm so excited to welcome you in and to work on some of this stuff. And I can't wait to see how your business transforms in just 3 months, because 3 months is going to go by in a flash. And if you guys know me, this program is packed and structured and is going to be 100% support by me, by Lindley, who's going to be helping with the tapping, the personalized tapping, and I'm going to be involved in all of that as well to make sure that I know what you need. I am going to know your business through and through. I say that I know everything from your marketing voice to your inner critic, so that other voice. Yeah. Awesome. Yay, Latoya. From a 7 to a 4 and first time tapping. Awesome. So Latoya and I know each other from Bold Heart, so Fabienne's a very big fan of tapping. That's actually how I got one of my first clients, is that this coach of this huge multi-million-dollar coaching program was talking to one of her VIPs and was like, you need tapping, and that person Googled and found me. And she's always like, I never, ever hired anybody off of a Google search. And we are still really good friends. And through COVID, we were doing a lot of stuff for her audience and stuff like that. So it's really great. You guys probably know her around here, Barbara. Dory also went from a 7 to a 4-ish, so that's awesome. So lots of 7s to 4s. So sometimes, guys, we don't need to go down to a 0 or a 1. If we go from 7 to 4, or we go like Alyssa from unfocused to focused, yeah, go get into the work. Go do the work now. Go be in that inspired flow. Like, go write your copy. Go put up your Instagram. Think about like, oh, you know what? Like, I really desire doing a workshop, or I really want to team up with somebody and go live on their Instagram, or whatever it is that you are feeling like is coming through, those little pings of desire. Go take action on them now, right? So we get this relief. Go get into the work. And I always say that one of the biggest cures, if you will, for when you're hesitant to get into the work. So maybe you had like a long weekend or a vacation and then you're just like, oh, it feels like it's so overwhelming, is actually just getting into the work. Just go and do the work. And that really helps to just get back in touch with it and be like, oh yeah, I really do like this. I really like what I do. So, you know, even with things like manifestation and emotions and like vibration, is that we don't need to go from, you know, the bottom frequencies to the very top frequencies in order to get the things, all the things in our vortex, or all the things that we have imagined and things like that. Sometimes we just need to go to that next level up, and that little bit of difference, the soothing that we get, will help you have a really great week, will help you have a lot of breakthroughs this week, you know. So we just need to get ourselves to that next best place. And even if you guys look at the vibrational scale, what I love about it is where courage is, that's where the frequency starts to change. And if you could just get yourself to that like little place of courage, the courage to like give up the fears, and the courage to really trust your desire, that's when a lot of stuff starts to shift energetically and on that frequency level. And so I hope that this little bit of improvement that you felt in 10 minutes, guys, 10 minutes. And, you know, it wasn't personalized or anything, but you see how profound it can change. And so these are the types of things that we're going to be doing in the multiplier. We're going to be bringing in the quantum stuff, the feminine embodiment. I've got the most amazing professional coming in to help us really embody our feminine. My healer showing up, and guys, when she speaks, it's like a song. Like, it is the most divine, inspired. It will make you just totally feel like you are bomb ass, meant to be here, meant to do what you're setting out to do, and all of the experiences in your life have led you to this place. We've got stuff on mindfulness and making sure that we are in touch with our internal bias so that we can help show up and provide equity in this world for all people. So there's so many facets to this program, and of course, the marketing and the sales tweaks and strategies that I am going to friggin' live coach you and intuitively. And what do? I analytically look at things and can just zero in and be like, how about this? You need to say it this way. And I'm never going to force you to do anything, but once I start opening some stuff up, that's where you guys are just going to like take off. So lots of good strategy. These are not like just templates and scripts and shit that I'm going to like throw at you and be like, yes, act like a robot. No, this is stuff that you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm leveraging this and I feel so much better about myself and I'm getting the results, right? You see it all the time with my clients. They put out 1-2 posts and they've got a bunch of discovery calls booked after that. So that feels so great. And of course, the personalized healing and tapping. So it's really a program that's unlike anything else I've ever seen. I have really taken the time to design it so that it gets the results. And what is the result? The result is to multiply the income that you're making right now and set you up to make multiple 6 figures next year. So by the end of the year, you should be totally in a different place. This stuff does not have to happen little by little, step by step. It can literally happen overnight. We're going to revamp your offering. We're going to get you in a place where you feel really good about what you're doing, what you're putting out there. You know how to speak about it. You know how to hold the space. You know how to hold the discovery calls. I call them enrollment calls, and bring somebody in and deliver the amazing work that I know you're here to do in this world. So that is what the intention is, by Christmas to have, or holidays, to have a very different feeling business, different feeling within yourself, a different embodiment, a different vision about what's possible, and a belief in what's possible, and a belief within yourself. There is nothing different between you and all the people that you see on Instagram that are crushing it or look like they're crushing it. You can actually change. And I am living proof. I am not 100 steps ahead of you. I am a few steps ahead of you. And I think that's really the other piece of the magic here, is that I'm not going to tell you to do something from a perspective of like having a $12 million business. I am going to tell you it from the grassroots, from the foundation, and building it up with you. So if this is something you'd like to be a part of, definitely apply. Book a call. The application and the booking of a call is all together. You can find a whole bunch more info at the link I'm dropping in the chat right now. And yeah, or DM me or ask me questions. Whatever's coming up, I know like 85 people have hit that page already. I know there's a lot of interest, and this program will sell out, and I'm so excited to have this very intimate group of women that are going to support each other, and I'm going to support every single one of you and be there every step of the way. So lots more soothing and solving and lots of movement forward. I like that. You know, it's all about the power of now, but I think that the present moment that you're in also has to have an energetic momentum that's happening behind it, and that's about that feeling of always moving forward. And so that's why so much of like the overwhelm and the procrastination, which is, I call that the opposite sides of the same coin, why that feels so frustrating, because it doesn't feel like that natural momentum forward. And so there is no way to not have that momentum in this program, because we are going to be moving. All right, that is all I've got for you guys today. That's not all, right? I think that was a lot. I will put up one last view of the visual. Oh, there we go. And yeah, let me know what your biggest takeaway was if you're still here. Let me know what came up, what's resolved. Before you say bye, it's my pleasure to have you here. And one more training next week. One more training on that final August 31st. It's the end of summer, guys. Woo! Can you believe it? All right, so drop me a goodbye in the chat. Drop me a takeaway. Let me know. Let me get some feedback. I always like to improve. I always like to know where to focus. If you have any ideas for next week's training, I will take them. And make sure to incorporate. I am here to support you guys. So, you know, sometimes it's formal in this training. Sometimes it's very formal inside a program. Sometimes it's informal and it's in a DM. So always, you know, reach out, allow yourself to receive that support. All right, so not getting any more. Okay, let's see. Latoya says feeling empowered to go to my network chat. Yes, awesome. Go network. Our net worth is our network, right? Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for dropping a line. Anybody else before I shut off the live? Awesome. Yay. Have a great day too. All right. I see you guys hopping off, so I'm going to turn down the live. These are going to be up all week for you to look at. So if you need to go back to anything or shoot me a message. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. If your week is resting, have a wonderful time resting this week and resetting. And if you're working, I wish you a lot of impact and confidence and income